get in here. Yeah. We're gonna wait on some folks to come up, show up. We're gonna wait on some folks to get in here. Cleanse the room. Cleanse the room. Cleanse the room. About to talk in a minute, y'all. Hey, yep. See how the light do me. Nope, I don't like that light. Right? I don't like that light. I don't like that light. Yeah. Take a gut check. Take a gut check. Take a gut check. Take a gut check. Then you must check on your mental. You must do some work, real work in the mental space that we in. That's my friend. Yeah, see I say it again. That's my friend. I can rap. Sometimes I can. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I stand in front of the camera and talk all of my junk. I got this gut check drink. I'm about to drunk. Oh, I'm drunk. Yeah, I'm feeling like a skunk. Yeah, I'm feeling like I smoke up on the skunk. What you thinking, I'm about to drinking, I'm about to drink this, What you thinking, Should I be drinking, Gut check, gut check. That's that purple label. That's that purple label. I'm that purple label. Yeah. Okay. Give it a try. Not the best tasting. yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, let me stop and let me go. All right. Yo, let me go. We're gonna do it like that. We're gonna do it like that. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? Yo, so I got a question I'm gonna ask y'all.
LB.
Right? Ooh, that gut check drink. What is true happiness? We're about to talk about that today. I know it's a little bit late in the afternoon for you, but we're about to talk about what is true happiness. I do my tea every sunrise. I already drunk my tea. I do my tea every sunrise. See? Late. You late. You late. You late. You late. Been had tea. Have my tea every day. Yeah. Oof. Oh, no. I'm just playing, though. I'm just playing. Oh, I'm just playing, huh? I'm just playing, so you can get your name lay up on the sand. Oh, yeah. See, the same thing that I do, it costs me. And you think it's costly. See, I'm the boss, see. And it doesn't cost me a penny or a dime. I'm spending all my time with you while I'm up online. And I do it for the grind. I do it for the grizzly. People looking at me dancing like I'm sitting up in silly. See, I'm really feeling like I'm feeling, cause I'm chilling. And people think about the way that I just do my dealings. I be billing people and checks. You know how I do it. See, I don't never sweat. And you just know how I'm moving. I keep everything in check. See, that's how I be cruising. I be on them jet skis, on them boats. I be in Cuba. And they thinking, how that boy do them rhymes. Cause I know how to rhyme. Cause I know how to stay in line with them tunes. Oh, yeah, he keep it good. Cause he stay in a good mood. Stay in a good mood. See, that's how I do it. See, my flow, I'm never losing. I'm always cruising. You see, my flow, I'm never ruined. Man, that's my mindset. Yeah, when I rewind back to that time that I was 6 years old. When I was a jitty bug, they be looking at me, boy, playing in that little tub. I had that little boat, and I was playing with the motor. I remember thinking about when I would get so much more older. I would say how I'm gonna be the boss of my own life. I be doing it because I wanted to have me a wife, and that ruined it. Cause I thought that would really work. See, I'm choosing this life that I'm living. I make it twerk. That's how I make it. Hurt your mind just with lyrics. And you be thinking that boy right there really got them feelings. He get his feelings. Why? I'm a Cancer. No, cause I'm a motherfucking Aquarius sign. And my moon is in the 5th house. That's right, that's what I'm saying. I love how I express myself when I be playing. And they be thinking he be saying a lot, but he don't. See, he do it cause he will. And I do it cause you won't. You a lazy son of a... Hey, what is true happiness, y'all? Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Hey, that's how I'm moving. What is true happiness? That's how I'm losing people out my life. Cause they ain't causing me no really good things. All they doing is really causing me strife. I be like, you a bike that I will ride. Yeah, I ride you to the end of the sunset. In that live, in this live. Yeah, I'm on IG, you feel me? And I be doing it because I'm really like that, really, like that, really, like that, You thinking I be silly like that, no. I just do it cause I be feeling like I'm stuck on another word, stuck on another rhyme, standing on another curb, but I'm doing it in all black, cause I am the general. You better get it right, 5-star, just remember, oh, you know how I like to come up on this beat. I do it cause I feel it, I do it while you sleep, and that's when I wake up with the cake up. I wake up and put my thing in the oven. That's a baker, yeah, a baker. He opens up a shop full of bakeries. They thinking that they trying to split me down and make me. See, they can't make me do things I won't do. No, I won't do, cause I am that man on the front line. And I will hunt you and hunt you down, shoot you up, and then I stitch you up. And then I put them staples in your head. I clip you up, clip you up, click you up. That's my game, that's my clip, that's my rep, that's my round, that's my woody, that's my beat. Nah, I'm chillin', that's what I'm saying. I ain't really, I'm just playing, I'm just saying. What you doing, what you knowin', why you dancing, why you prancing all around like your name was Rudolph, boy. You thinking you got your shoes on, my shoes off, boy. Nah, man, I'm on the rooftop, boy, pushing up, cause you know how I do it. When I sit up, I'm get the gut, get the six-pack, and then I just sit back. Then I go break you down into 4 pieces, just like a Kit Kat. You knick-knack, paddywhack, yeah, give a dog a bone. And then when I'm done, just leave a dog alone. See, why you playing? Yeah, my locks are getting long. My locks are getting long. Yeah, my locks are getting long. Just leave me right here at home. See, me, I'm on this phone, talking to you about my rhymes. But I should be doing is teaching you with these lines and these lines. Hey. No, I used to freestyle, I used to be wild, I used to be child, like in my mind, but I'm still a child, like in my time, I'm grown manning, you know I'm grown standing, I'm on my own grandstanding, I'm on this bandwidth, this bandwagon, this bandwidth, it's wider than the earth, I'm on internet, 24/7, that's a surf, I'm a surfer, you know I do it cause I like to go and hurt up, ooh, hurt up. Why would you say murder? A murder, cause that's what I do with this damn beat. I just get on it and kill it, cause I put it to the sleep. Yeah, I put it under 6 feet deep, it's where it plunders. I put you down there, boy, don't you ever wonder if I am the Mac. Cause I am the MAC, and you know I sit in the back. Damn, that's CAM, that's a cam, that's a cam shaft, that's a Camaro. Yeah, I'm sliding on them people, they don't know how I say hello, bye, cause I'm getting Let me stop. I can't even be serious no more. I can't even be serious no more. I can't even be serious no more. How can I teach after that? How can I teach after that? How can I teach when I just did the rap? How can I teach when I just came on this live? How can I teach when I'm all in this black and I'm not hot? You know, I'm just chilling. So you think that I was your villain? I am your hero. I come through saving your ass. You know how I do with these villains. Oh, yeah, stop it. Before we go on another prophet, he got a word for you, girl. You need to listen up and cop it, buy it, please sell it. Cause you know we be dwelling, we be feeling, we be felons. Running from the law, telling on nobody, we not snitches. Woo! How can I be serious? How can I be serious with you after that? Hold on, man. How can I be serious with you after that? On a real note, man. On a real note. Let's talk. What is true happiness? I'm done playing though. For real. Let's talk about what is true happiness. Let's do a deeper look at what. This is a deeper look with Omaka the Light. And we're going to talk about what is true happiness. Okay? Now, is it careers? Is it money? Is it love? Is it a social life? Is it power? Is it freedom? Is it titles? Is it status? Is it accomplishments? Is it security? Is it credentials? Is it health? Is it peace? What is true happiness? Let's talk about this. True happiness. Let's begin with first starting out with what true happiness is not. And it is not all of these things that I've listed here. Peace, love, security, health, beauty, adventure, titles, money, accomplishment, status. These are the imposters of happiness. Now, let me help you understand something. Can these things promote a happy life? Can these things help aid in being happy? Yes, these are aids. I call them imposters because they're not the symbol status of what happiness truly is. Now, they are imposters because they pose as what happiness truly is. But these are not the symbolic status of what happiness is. Love, health, careers, peace, social life, security, beauty, adventure, freedom, titles, money, status, accomplishments, careers. These are not symbolic statuses on their own of what true happiness is. They are aids in happiness. They are aids in what happiness is or could be, but they're not happiness. And so now we got to break down. We know what happiness is not, and that is those imposters that you saw there. Those are the imposters of true happiness. You know, they did a study, and I've been doing my research on happiness. I've actually been studying happiness. I've been reading a lot of material. I've been taking a course. I'm actually taking a course online at Yale University on well-being, and I'm actually studying and putting together a presentation that I'm going to be putting together, shortly here, that'll be coming out this year, and it's going to be one of my best presentations that I'm going to put together on marking what is happiness, the spirit of a happy life. I am going to be putting together one of the best presentations on the spirit of a happy life, backed up by study, backed up by research, backed up by an actual course that I'm taking on well-being. And so it's going to be backed up by a plethora of information. And so what I'm saying to you is what true happiness is and what true happiness isn't. And we got to discover, or we got to uncover the root of what true happiness is by removing the layers, the surface of what poses as true happiness, like security, money, power, health, careers, status. These things pose as true happiness, but they're not true happiness. And so we got to take the imposters out the way and uncover what lies beneath the surface of what true happiness is. And as I was doing my study, doing my research, doing a plethora of research studies, I have over 6 different magazines on happiness, studying what happiness is, reading a lot of material on what happiness is. And so let's begin by the study that was put out in like 1904 or something, done by some old philosopher. I forget his name, Rolos or something like that. Starts with an R. And this guy did a study on twins, identical twins and fraternal twins. Now, here's what he came away with. That happiness is 30 to 40% genetic material. Genetic. That means it was passed down through your DNA. Follow me and don't be so quick to come to conclusion on that. That's why you need to listen. Don't be so quick to come to conclusion on that being the study, the fact, okay? This was a study done in 1904. I may be wrong, it may be 1940. Somewhere up in there, 04 or 40. And this guy, they ran a bunch of study on twins, identical twins and fraternal twins. They found that 30 to 40% of our happiness is genetic. Only in identical twins. And the reason for that is because identical twins share more, or identical twins not share more. Identical twins share 100% of their DNA. They share 100% of their DNA. Fraternal twins share only 50%. So they found that true happiness is more prevalent in identical twins than it is in fraternal twins. The reason being because identical twins share more, or share 100% of their DNA. Now, why would identical twins be more happier than fraternal twins? Well, we could say it's DNA. And this is the study that this philosopher did in 1904 or 1940. I can't remember. I got to read it again to get the actual year. But here's the thing. Here's the beauty in all of that. That was way back then. They did a new study. And they found that they did a new study in 2018. And the new study discovered that happiness is not genetic. I agree with that more. Happiness is not genetic. Happiness has nothing to do with your genes. Happiness cannot be turned on by your genes. Happiness is not caused by genetic structure, your genome. Which they say that your genome, you are 100% of your genome is copied through, passed down through you and through, your parents. Okay? But it has nothing to do with how happy your parents were. Your happiness has nothing to do with how happy your parents were. Your happiness has nothing to do with how happy your parents were. Let me brighten the light just a little bit. It's a little too dark right there. And so they discovered that your happiness, true happiness, is not genetic. Now, when they did the research on a set of identical twins and fraternal twins, why was identical twins more happier? Identical twins share 100% of their DNA. Fraternal twins share only 50% of the DNA together. Okay? Why were identical twins more happier? Think about that. Because in society where there are identical twins, most likely you will always find identical twins together. You will always find them together. So what does that mean? Socializing. And this is my conclusion, even though I'm jumping the early gun right now. But my conclusion from my studies and my research, true happiness is socialization. And that means your socialization your socialization relative to certain things. Remember, I jumped the gun a little too early, so I'm not going to give away my full conclusion on the relativity of your true happiness through socializing. I'm not going to give it away just yet because I'm jumping the gun a little too early on my conclusion, but I needed to do that so I can back you up, bring you back into the reason why happiness is not genetic and your happiness is not based on true happiness is not based on love, careers, power, money, security, beauty, adventure, freedom, titles, accomplishment, status, social life. Happiness is not found in these imposters. I call these the imposters of happiness, but the imposters are not inconclusive or excluded. Let me say that. The imposters are not excluded from happiness. What I'm saying is these imposters here aid in happiness, but they don't bring true happiness. Happiness is a status that one must proclaim. Happiness is a status of one proclaiming them being happy. Give me a second. Don't go anywhere. So we have to understand that happiness is fleeting. It's a fleeting emotion. Happiness is fleeting. And once again, the imposters of happiness will always escape us. These imposters of happiness will always escape us. They will always escape us. They're never going to be the catalyst to being happy. You understand? And the reason why you're not happy, and this isn't my breakdown of my conclusion, but contentment is one of the reasons. Hear me out. Contentment is not enough. You may have status, you may have power, you may have money, you may have affluence, you may have security, you may have love, but it's fleeting. We get love and we don't feel we're getting enough of love. We get money and we don't feel we have enough money. This is why billionaires are still wanting to be trillionaires. You understand? And you get security, but it's not enough security. You accomplish some things, it's not enough to accomplish one. You got to accomplish two. You got to accomplish three. It's contentment. Contentment is not allowing us to find true happiness and understand what true happiness is. I'm doing a study or a presentation. I've been doing study on happiness for the last 2-3 weeks, and I'm taking courses on happiness. I'm reading magazine after magazine after article after book on happiness. And I'm actually putting together one of the best presentations called The Spirit of a Happy Life. The Soul. The Spirit of a Happy Life. The Soul. I want us to have an understanding of the soul. What I'm talking about today is nothing near what I'm getting ready to break down to you in the soul presentation. And so what it is we find ourselves searching for joy. Or we should find ourselves searching more for joy, not happiness. Because happiness is fleeting. And we have these imposters that we tie to happiness, thinking that these imposters bring us happiness. Sorry, guys. He was right down my face. Had to get him. And so we thinking that these imposters bring us happiness. But they don't. It's joy that we get true fulfillment. Joy is fulfilling. It's inward. Happiness could be external. And this is a fact. Happiness is external. They did a study of different cultures. And they found that when they were searching these cultures, they went to Japan. And they looked at the culture of Japan and what brings on happiness in Japan. And they found that it was external. Excuse me. And then they went to Canada and found that happiness was internal. After researching over 60,000 people, studying 60,000 people each place, they studied that in this large group of people in Japan, happiness was external. In Canada, happiness was internal. Inner peace, inward. You understand? But happiness is not something that you can hold within and keep. That's joy. Joy is something that you can hold within. And so when they looked at the people in Canada, they had to actually realize that maybe when they questioned them, they said that they got a lot of mixed signals because the people were mixing joy and happiness together. They weren't understanding. They were mixing joy and happiness together. But happiness to me is an external factor. You understand? And joy has been proven to be rooted in a person's DNA, unlike happiness. Joy is rooted in a person's DNA. Happiness, you ever see those people that are just happy? Hold on.
It's the happy, happy, joy, joy song.
Who remember this?
Happy, happy, joy, joy, 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 joy. I don't think you're happy enough. That's right. I'll teach you to be happy.
I'll teach you to be.
I'll teach your grandmother to suck eggs. Now, boys and girls,
Listen.
let's try it again.
Listen to the song though.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, 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 joy. If and you ain't the granddaddy of all liars, the little critters of nature, they don't know that they're ugly. That's very funny. A fly marrying a bumblebee. I told you I'd shoot, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me?
Huh?
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, 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 joy, joy, joy.
Okay, look. What was Ren? Remember Ren and Stimpy? Remember Ren and Stimpy? Happy, happy, joy, joy? What was Ren doing? Stimpy had joy. Ren, I think, is the rat. Ren, I think, is the ugly rat looking one. And Stimpy. But Stimpy was joyful. Ren was trying to get Stimpy to be happy. And it was driving him mad. It was driving him crazy. It was driving him insane, trying to teach him to be happy. He was trying to show him how to be happy. But joy, if you saw Stimpy, it was internalized. He wasn't happy. He was joyful. Ren, who was angry, trying to get Stimpy to be happy, fighting and trying to get him to be happy, and he found himself going crazy. Watch this. So, Ren and Stimpy shows you that joy is internal. Happiness is external. Okay? And so, you got to look at, when you look at happiness and identical twins, again, they found that identical twins were more happy than fraternal twins. Number one, identical twins share 100% of their DNA. Fraternal twins only share 50%, but they found that identical twins are more happy, not because they share more of their DNA, not because they share 100% of their DNA, but because you find identical twins most of the time together. Always together. And it's the socialization, the connection that the two have together. It's the connection. And so true happiness is not money, accomplishments, titles, security, health, beauty. It's not the imposters of happiness. You understand? So your happiness, and here's my conclusion. Here's my conclusion to my findings on happiness. Happiness is experiences, exposures, and self-expectation. Happiness is experiences, exposures, and self-expectations. And so when we start to look at the study of these twins, they share none of the same. They share the study showed that. Hold on, it's coming to me. Right, so the phenotype in identical twins, again, as I said, they share 100% of their DNA. But none of the, this is what it was. Here it is. It's coming back to me. They share 100% of their DNA, but watch this. None of the same characteristics. None of the same characteristics. Just because we share 100% DNA does not mean we share 100% of the same characteristics. Snowflakes come from the same source, but every snowflake is different in characteristic. Snowflakes are identical in substance and matter. They're identical because they come from the same sources, but they're different in characteristics. So no snowflake is alike. No snowflake is alike because snowflakes are different in characteristics. Although they come from the same source. Although identical twins share 100% of their DNA and come from the same source, it is not because of their DNA. And this is why in 2018 they found the study. They redid the study, and the study showed that happiness is not genetic. And so this is why in twins, just because they share 100% of their DNA, they found that identical twins are more happier than fraternal twins, but not because they share 100% of their DNA. It's because of the socialization, number one. And number two, it is not because of the phenotype, because of their phenotype, but because they share different characteristics. And this is what makes people happy. The ability, the ideal of knowing that I am different from you in characteristics. And your phenotype is what make up your skin color, is what make up your eye color, is what make up your height. You understand what I'm saying? It's what make up your size. It's what makes up everything. Your phenotype is what makes up the different characteristics within all over you. Your eye color, your skin color, your height. You understand? And so although the phenotypes in identical twins are similar, they share different characteristic traits. They share different characteristic traits. You rarely ever find identical twins taller than one another, one taller than the other. Because they share 100% of the same DNA, the same genetics, most of the phenotype of identical twins are going to be similar. Height, eye color, skin color, all of that. But what makes them different is their characteristics. And so the characteristics in one's own self. What makes me different is my characteristic traits. What makes you different is your characteristic traits. And that's what makes us like each other or find each other appealing, find each other appeasing, find each other sexy, find each other beautiful. Or you understand what I'm saying? Or find a different connection. There's certain things we don't even understand. Is that what's drawing me to you are your characteristics. And this is what I want you to understand. Don't get caught up in someone's characteristics simply because it's a turn on to you. Because those are imposters of happiness. Power, love, careers, status, health, security, credentials, freedom, titles, money, social life. Social life meaning like people you know. People you're connected. And so these things can be an imposter to why you may find someone attractive or why you may find someone you're connected to, why you may find someone beautiful. These things can pose as imposters to you and make you believe that their characteristic traits could make you happy. But I've concluded that what makes a being happy, what makes one happy, I've concluded that it is their experiences, their exposures, and their self-expectations. If you are able to create a well-being environment, watch this. The study found that 99.9%, let's just say 100%, of our happiness is not internal, but external. They call that epigenetics. If you study Dr. Bruce Lipton and his work, you'll know what epigenetics is. And so they found that happiness is due to our environment. This is what the new study found. The new study found that happiness is not due to genetics, in what the old study found, saying that happiness is 30 to 40% genetic. No. Happiness is 100% environment. It is environment. Epigenetics. Your DNA, your genetic structure cannot make you happy, but your environment can alter your DNA. Your environment can alter your DNA. Do you understand that? Your environment can alter your DNA. Genetics has nothing to do with your alterations of your genetics have no alteration or ulterior effects. They have no ulterior effects on your happiness. They have no ulterior effects on your happiness. But your environment could alter your DNA. And external factors play a part in your happiness. And this is why when people say you're responsible for your own happiness, that's true. You are. But it's not something you have to muster up within. It makes it easier to know that you don't want to be happy from trying to muster it. This is why Ren and Stimpy, you see Stimpy, he was just joyful. He was content. And so they found that depression is genetic. Depression is genetic. Depression is, man, I don't know how bugs get in my house, but I got to get them out. Depression, beloved, is genetic. And even, beloved, Iyanla Vanzant shows it here that depression comes from we need healing from ancestral patterns. And so the beloved Iyanla Vanzant talks about this, how ancestral patterns causes us to be distressed or causes depression within us. And the study shows that depression is genetic. Depression is genetic. Happiness is not genetic. Happiness is environmental, external. And I say experiences, exposure, and self-expectation. Happiness is environmental and external. They call it epigenetics, meaning outside environment can affect your DNA. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this. Outside factors can alter your DNA. This is called epigenetics. Your environment can affect your mood, your feelings, your emotions. Your epigenetics affects who we are, because epigenetics, meaning it can alter your DNA through your environment. Epigenetics is that your DNA can be changed, your DNA can be altered through your environment, outside external factors. True happiness is not money, not love, not health, not peace. This is what I'm trying to show you here. That true happiness is not these imposters here. Now, these things aid in our happiness, but they're not symbolic. They're not the symbol. They're not the symbol of our happiness. They're not the symbol of our happiness. But epigenetics prove that our happiness is affected through our environment. Our happiness is altered and affected by our outside and external environment. And so I've concluded that happiness is experiences, exposure, and self-expectation. The question is, what kind of environment are you creating for yourself so that you experience true happiness? What kind of environment are you creating for yourself so that you are experiencing true happiness? What kind of environment? That's why I said socializing. Socializing is, to me, the key to true happiness. But socializing in relativity to what? Socializing in relativity to food, my connection to food, my connection to certain places that I love to go, my connection to nature, my connection to reading, you understand? Socializing in relativity to the things that I love, the people that I love to be around. You understand what I'm saying? Socializing. So it's through experiences, exposure, and self-expectations. What kind of environment are you creating to give yourself the experience of happiness? Because happiness is an experience, not an emotion. I'm sorry. Yes, happiness is an experience. It's not. It is an emotion. Let me not say that. Happiness is an emotion, but it's a fleeting emotion. But all emotions are fleeting. We're never always sad. We're never always, happy. We're never always anxious. We're never always uppity. We're never always enthusiastic. We're never always jealous. We're never always bitter. We're never always these things. They're fleeting. Sometimes we are jealous. Sometimes we're not jealous. Sometimes we are happy. Sometimes we're not happy. Sometimes we are sad. Sometimes we're not sad. All emotions are fleeting. But true happiness is experiences. What kind of environment? Epigenetics says that our environment controls our DNA. Our environment can alter our DNA, our genetics, our genome. But we're not born genetically happy. We're not born genetically happy. We're not born with the genetics of happiness. In the study of identical twins, they found that happiness was through socializing, the two being connected. The two being connected not through genes, but because study shows that identical twins are always together. Identical twins are almost always together. So it is through socializing. It is through socializing, the social connection that they have. The social connection that they have is what bring on happiness. And so my conclusion was that socialization in relativity to the things that we connect to, experiences like food, culture, you understand, different climates. Some of us love the snow, some of us love the heat, some of us love the spring, some of us love the fall, some of us love waterfalls, some of us love mountains. Socializing in relativity to the things we are connected to, external. Happiness, true happiness, is brought on by external epigenetics, outside environment, outside external factors. And so we are happy from our outside external factors. Our environment, epigenetics controls, meaning our environment controls how we feel, how we think, how we act, how we respond. Epigenetics shows that our environment can alter our DNA. And so, through your environment, do you get your experiences for what you can call true happiness, or how you can bring on true happiness. So through your experiences, I've concluded that socialization relative to the things we are connected to brings on happiness. I'm going to say it again. Socialization relative to the things we're connected to. So experiences, what are we connected to? What is our environment? What are we connected to through our environment that is bringing on true happiness? That is bringing in, because remember, your outside external factors, epigenetics shows that your environment controls your DNA, how you feel, how you respond, how you react. So we have to create an environment to experience true happiness. Did you hear what I just said? We have to create an environment to experience true happiness, so that it affects our thinking, it affects our mood, it affects our minds, it affects our responses, it affects, so that these things affect our well-being. We want outside external factors have a cause in our happiness, then that means we need to create an environment so that we experience true happiness through the things that we are socially connected to. And so that may be food. You may be someone who loves to cook, and you create an environment where there's food hanging on the wall, food everywhere, pictures of food, a nice kitchen, a beautiful cookbook, and everything is around you. Plants and nature is around you because you love food. Or you may be connected to, you may create an environment where you love certain movies, and you may be an aspiring actor. And so your environment feeds your responses to life. You create an environment of what inspires you, so that this be your response to life. If you're an aspiring actor and you got movies hanging all over the place, certain movies, your favorite movies in your DVD collection or on your downloaded in your phone, and everything you do is about watching certain movies because they give you a certain feeling, then this is going to create reaction and responses to your exposure to life. So experiences, creating an environment so that we experience true happiness. Exposure, what we expose ourselves to, what we expose ourselves to, so that our responses that come from what we are exposed to are righteous, healthy, mind-feeding responses. So when I create an environment of what I want to experience, I am then creating a domino effect of my responses to what I'm exposing myself to. So now my responses to certain things in life are healthy responses because I've created an environment where I only navigate within a certain environment. And from that environment, I have healthy responses because I expose myself to certain environments. And so my responses are healthy. The responses I have are healthy responses to life, to everything. And then my self-expectations, and this is the final one. My self-expectations are what I set for myself so that I look forward to creating happiness, true happiness for myself. Meaning, when I go out to eat, I am expecting a very good meal. Meaning, when I go to the gym, I'm expecting a very good workout. And so the expectation of the feeling is already set, already there. Rather, do I experience it when I get there? Do I go into a restaurant expecting a good meal and it always be a good meal? No. Sometimes it's a bad meal. Sometimes it's a bad service. Sometimes I go and eat and it doesn't meet my expectations. But my response is not a negative response because I've exposed myself to this. And so my response is not a negative response because I set the expectation going in that I'm going to have a good meal. And when the meal comes back, not a good meal or a bad meal, I don't be like, this shit was nasty. I don't want to eat this. Take this food back. It sucked. Y'all suck. I set an expectation of good. And so my responses are still good. I don't look at this waiter and say, this food sucks. Get it out of here. I say, I'm not really. It's a more healthy response. I'm not really feeling this meal. Is there anything else you can offer? My response is to the people or the places and things. I sometimes went to places I thought was going to be beautiful. I got there and it wasn't all what I thought it would be. I go to certain cities, it's not all what I thought it would be. I remember when I went to Atlanta, it wasn't all what I thought it was. It wasn't all that everybody was talking about. It wasn't everything that everybody made out to be. It probably met my lowest expectation. You understand? When I went to Atlanta, it did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. But when I went there expecting good, But I didn't leave upset. I didn't leave pissed off. I didn't leave angry. I didn't leave like it was a wasted trip. I left learning that this wasn't the place for me. It was an experience that I exposed myself to. I had a high expectation for it. But guess what? Because it didn't meet my expectation doesn't mean it take away from the experience that I had. Doesn't mean it takes away from the exposure that I got. I got great exposure to people. I met some people. I actually went there and did some spoken word poetry. I connected with people that follow me on Instagram, and I follow them. And yeah, I've connected to people, and people connected to me. And so the experience gave me exposure to certain people, socialization. And through that socialization, it made it a trip that wasn't bad. It just met my lowest expectations, but it wasn't bad. And so my expectations, your self-expectations, I set my self-expectations high so that when I expose myself to certain things, my responses are still good. You understanding what I'm saying here? And so socialization in relative to what we are connected to is what gives us true happiness. Socialization in relative to what we are connected to, meaning if you're connected to food, or you're connected to music, or you're connected to nature, or you're connected to art, you're connected to education, you may be connected to reading books or drawing, you may be connected to acting, you may be connected to something. Socialization, our socialization in relative to the things we're connected to, is what brings us true happiness through our experiences, exposure, and self-expectations, our expectations. And so that is my conclusion on true happiness. Okay? That is my conclusion on true happiness. I enjoyed the time I had with you here. I wished for you to be here more often, because I'm probably going to do something else tomorrow. I'm going to come back on here and I'm going to talk on another topic. I got another beautiful topic. This was a beautiful topic. What is true happiness? And I gave you a deeper look. This is a deeper look with Omaka the Light. And I am thankful that you joined me here for this rendition of teaching you how to love thyself, how to heal thyself, and how to give to thyself. And let me also end off all of that by saying, part of your happiness workouts, true happiness workouts, should be adding some gratitude in there. Adding gratitude in your life. Adding a little bit of gratitude into your life every single day. Being thankful for what you have. Being content for where you are. And being happy with just that. Okay? So I want to say thank you for taking a deeper look with me, Omaka the Light, on what is true happiness. I am grateful that you came. I have fun with you. I will see you here tomorrow. Enjoy your day and be well, be loved, and be light, beloved. Ashe, Atone, and Amen. Okay? And remember, I love you, I love me, I love us. Peace.